Hi, my name is Samantha and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Quakertown Autumn Alive. Let's get into it. So this past weekend I was at Quakertown Autumn Alive, that's in Quakertown, Pennsylvania. The show was from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it was $85 for a 10 by 10 booth. You did have to bring your own tent, your own tables and everything. Setup was at 7:30 and the show started at 10 a.m. I tried to be there as close to 7:30 as possible, so I left my house at 6 a.m. I was able to arrive I got to the parking lot at like 7:28, so I was a little early. I didn't think they'd let me in, but they did end up letting me in, and I went to my spot. Let's start with the pros and cons. So the first con I would have to say is that the spot was not marked very well. It was marked where I knew where my spot was, right? I was 31, so that's my spot. What am I trying to say? So there's parallel park, this was on the street, for clarification. This is on the street, and there are parallel parking spots, right? It wasn't like they put 30 in this car spot, 31 in this car spot, 29. So I didn't know exactly where my spot was, like each edge of it. I knew like I'm in this area. So I just put my tent up and then centered myself on the number. And then when the people next to me showed up, I asked them like, hey, have you been here before? Where do you think the lines are? And we just kind of discussed with each other and tried to make the best decision. So that was a little tricky because the only interaction I had with the event hosts on the day of was when I pulled up and gained access into the street and they had to move the barricades because I had the parking pass, the parking permit. But other than that, I never had any interaction throughout the whole rest of the day. So I don't know if I was in the exact right spot. I was in the right area. I was on my number, but I don't know like precisely if I was in the right spot. I don't know if it mattered. My neighbors both had the space that they needed, so I guess it was fine. So in the future, they could do better by marking the four corners or putting each number in its own parallel parking spot, if that makes sense. Along with that, I did not get to choose my spot at all. My booth was placed in front of the vape shop. I personally have an ethical problem with that. I don't like the vape shop. I don't like cigarettes, cigars, anything you light and put in your mouth. So I had an issue with that and I wanted to be as separated as possible from that. So I went ahead and put 3 sides on my tent so that I didn't have to look at them and they didn't have to look at me. And that made me feel better about like my products being more isolated. I didn't end up having an issue with smells throughout the day, thankfully. I didn't smell any like weed or cigarettes or fruit and stuff the kids that are smoking these days. I didn't smell anything, so that's good. Later in the day when I did take down my sides, it was like a lot more prominent that it was right behind me. So like I definitely was happy that throughout the day I had the sides up so that I was isolated away from them. Another con would be that the whole show in itself, as I did have help, so I was able to walk around, which was really helpful. I walked around at the beginning of the show and then I walked around during the show, so I got to see other booths. I was really happy with the diversity of the different vendors. There was a really good combination of different people making different stuff. Like there was other sewists, but nobody had the same stuff that I did. The only issue with that is that there was nobody really in the sustainability realm, so I don't feel like Quakertown is the appropriate place for sustainability. So like my towels, I took all of my towels with me and I had them on display. So that was 3 displays. They did not need to be taking up that much space. I should not have put that many out. So now I know for next time not to do that and still take some because I can have the option, but not take as many. And when like I was talking to people about it, they were kind of like, why would I do that? I don't get it. And I was like, okay, never mind, not for you. And then, yeah, the location, I already talked about that. So on the flip side, the pros, very easy hosts. They were very easy to work with. When I had emailed and sent in my application and stuff, I had no issues. When I pulled up at the show, I did what I was supposed to do. I showed up at the right time, at the right place, knew where my spot was, and had my parking pass. So no issues. My aunt was able to help me and she was able to move my car. She did not have any issues parking it in the parking lot and picking it, or I picked it up in the end. So no issues there. That was perfectly fine. It definitely took more work to have to go get the car and then bring it back, but I was very grateful to like not have to lug my stuff anywhere. I literally unloaded at my spot and then packed up at my spot. Very helpful. it was a good turnout. There was definitely a lot of people that showed up. The way that the event was, so there was this one main street that went along. So there was kind of like 4 sections of it. There was that first main section with the food court. That was where the most people were. Most people were like congested in that area. And then I was like in section 2, and then there was like a diagonal section, and then there was another straight section. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on this other street, there was another section. So there was kind of like 5 sections. I would say I was in the second best section. So I would say the first best section would have been in front of the food courts, because that's where a lot of people were. Now, I did not get this memo. Nobody told me. Apparently, this was a dog event. Like, all these people are walking around with their dogs, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, sometimes there's people with pets, but like not this many. I'm like, what is going on? And my aunt is like, oh, there's gonna be a pet parade later. And I was like, oh, like, I wish someone would have told me that. Like, I didn't know that. I would have made a dog specific product. Like, there was all these people with dogs on a leash, dog in a stroller, dog in a bag, like all sorts of dogs, all big, small, all types of things. And I was like, well, damn, should have capitalized on that, should have gotten a dog product. So I've got that in mind for next time. Now, I did have a lot of dog and cat patterns, but I didn't have products for the dog. Now let me go back into the pros, because I have one less pro. My last pro is that the whole area was so safe. It was so clean. There was trash cans. There wasn't stuff all over the floor. In packing up, I didn't see people leaving a big mess. And then I did swing by that area later, and it looked really clean. So I think they did a really good job with the setup and the teardown, and everyone being respectful. Didn't have any issues with stealing. So that was really good. It was really nice to be in a safe space. Things that I would do for next time to be more successful. So they have a spring and a fall show. So I'm hoping to make these changes for the spring show, try it out. I think I can do better in the spring show, and then I can do even better in the fall once I've made these changes. So like I said, less towels, that's the first change. Second thing is to do a dog item. I also think it needs to be a lower price point. People also seem to not be interested in the towels because of the price point. So I want to bring down the price point. I'm thinking a $6 item. I'm thinking to do a like fabric with a clip dog poop dispenser bag. And when I was looking online for the bags themselves, just like I sell the Kleenex in the pouch, I found biodegradable ones, which would go more with my sustainability. So that's what I'm thinking. I've got some brainstorming ideas. I need to test out some different patterns, because oh my God, is the dog poop bag pattern such a rabbit hole. I was looking at it and I'm like there are so many different ways you can make it, especially like just the hole, the part that's a hole, so many different ways you can make it. And I'm just like, oh my God. But I have something very creative in mind, and I'm excited to try it out. I have to go to the store to go get this product, to go try it, to see if it'll work. But I'm super excited to try some different methods, and I'll bring to you what methods I tried, what I liked, what I didn't like, and then I'm hoping to come up with my own pattern, and I'll share it with you guys. So not this year, I don't have time for it, and I don't have brain space, but this is a 2025 project. My booth. So I did a kind of like a, what's the word? Lightning bolt, I guess you could say. So I had a front table and then 2 perpendicular tables and then another side table. So I had a front table and then you could come in. People did not seem to want to come in. And then later on in the day, so that was 4 tables. Later on in the day when I took the sides down and I consolidated up to the front 2 tables in the last hour, people seem to approach a lot more. I don't know if it was taking the sides down, or I don't know if it was the front table. I think it was the front table. So what I'm thinking next time is put the back side up and put one side up, and then do a corner so that like the stuff on the side is like the towels, the things that people are less interested in. And then the front table is the dogs and the cats and the dog item. And that way they're more interested in approaching, but I still have my, like, not protection, but like I really enjoyed having the sides, because then someone's not approaching me from behind. Like, I don't like when people like come through your booth or like approach you from behind. I don't like that. It makes me very uncomfortable. So like I really enjoyed having the sides and having my own little like nook, because I watched it happen all day where people were cutting through people's booths, and I'm like, gosh, stop doing that. So that's what I'm thinking. And then I'm going to ask to be put in front of the bookstore. Another good product I could do, and I've already made them before, is I can make some bookmarks. And if I'm in front of the bookstore, that could help promote that. Thinking of the bookstore, I have to show you guys. Look, I put the little charm on. I'll take a picture closer. So cute. And then I've been using my Fall Breeze and Cozy Reads. I already read a whole nother book using that. So love it. If you don't know, those are from my last market I was at that I got the haul because the market was really slow. This market, I spent $0 on other booths, so be proud of me, please. And I didn't spend any money on food either because I brought food with me, so very proud of myself. So I would ask to be put in front of the bookstore or to be put in front of the food truck area. Orient tables towards the traffic, and only two sides. The other thing that was pretty crazy is the difference in temperature in the different sections. So like my booth had the sun coming down on me. Right across from me, they were in the shade all day. One street over, they were wearing their winter coats. Like I was in not shorts. I was in jeans and a t-shirt and I was comfortable. So like it was crazy how we were all in the same half-mile radius, yet every street was so different because of the shade and the sun. So that was pretty bizarre. But anyways, I would ask to be moved closer to that number 1 section, but I didn't know this time, right? So you live and you learn. So let's talk oh my God, I have to tell you what happened. So I'm putting my tent up, right? And I'm feeling confident. I've done it a couple times now. I've got it. The one side is like sticking and the little peg thing will not come out. And I didn't know how to fix it. And we were thinking like, oh, WD-40. Of course I didn't have any, right? And so I didn't know what to do. And so I just stuck my pen and like a pen cap in the other holes so that if it came crashing down, it would like break the pen and I would hear it happen. And like, hopefully I could go and catch the tent before it falls on someone and they try and sue me. So yeah, that was pretty scary. Could not get the tent to like fully lock in. Ended up getting some WD-40 later in the day, squirted in there, pop, and then it was perfectly fine. So something I will be adding to my prep bag is some WD-40. And I didn't know this, but they have the regular WD-40, they have the little baby WD-40, and they have WD-40 in like a Tide to Go pen. So I have that in my cart. I will be picking it up the next time I go to the store, but it looks like this. So yeah, something I didn't know I needed, and watch, I'll put that in my bag and I'll never need it again. I had a hammer. I was trying to bang the other side of it to like knock it loose. That did not work. So add some WD-40 to your prep bag, and I'm excited to get it in that pen form because I feel like that won't leak onto everything else. Like I'm worried about the other two sizes like possibly leaking onto stuff, and it's just heavy. So anyways, I will be getting that and adding it to my bag. Now, oh, one last thought on that. I feel like it was like karma coming after me because remember the video last week on Thursday that I'm like, just in case your tent breaks. I'm like, oh my God, I caused this to happen to myself. So do not speak stuff like that into the universe before you go to a show because trust me, I learned. Don't be like me. Anyways, let's talk numbers. So the show cost $85. It took me about an hour to get there. So an hour there, hour back, and I paid about $7 in tolls each way. So cost me about $100 for the day. My gross sales was $164, net sales $152, 8 sales, an average of $20.50. The reason my gross and net are not the same is because at the shows I offer a buy 3 get $2 off discount, mix and match anything you want. I took $55 of cash payments, $106 of card payments. The card payments had $3.15 of fees. The things that sold were jar openers, wine bags, reusable towels, coasters, and tissue pouches. I sold 66 jar openers, or $66 of jar openers. That was 11, the quantity. $50 in wine bags, so that's 5 wine bags. $32 in reusable towels, so 2 reusable towels. 1 set of coaster for $10, and 1 tissue pouch for $6. I am also shocked at the wine bags. So like I've had them all year, barely sold any. The winery show makes sense why I sold a bunch. This show, I sold 5 of them. Like what? And even in that, in having the wine bags, I did not have what people wanted. Oh, do you have this? Oh, do you have this? Oh, do you? So people wanted purple, they wanted pink, and they wanted butterflies. So adding that to the list. what else was I gonna tell you guys? Yeah, it's weird that the wine bags sold. Before the show, I looked around to see, so the wine bags, I looked if there was anybody selling wine, if I could say like, oh, if you go down there, you could buy some wine and you have a complete gift. The jar openers, I looked to see if anyone was selling jams or jellies or something in a jar. I did not see that. So that would have been something good as well to ask to be put next to a winery, because I would have sold even more wine bags. And then the wine bags, jar openers. Oh, there was somebody on the other street selling the garbage bag dispensers, because people typically ask me for that. It's weird. They'll ask me for it, and then like I've made them before, and then people weren't interested. So I was sure to locate who was selling them so I could say, hey, go check out those people back there. Oh, and then some people were like looking at it, oh, do you have this? Yeah, and a lot of people were asking me like, oh, do you have Phillies? Oh, do you have this trademark? And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have any trademarks. And they're like, oh, okay, whatever, I don't have them. And there were so many booths at this show selling trademark stuff, especially like Philly stuff, what is that sports? The Eagles, like the baseball and the football and stuff like that, like a lot of sports stuff. But and another thing, so the state fabric that I have Pennsylvania state fabric and the state flower. I put those up front as well as the Halloween stuff, and nobody bought them. So I don't know, like it's not trademarked, but it's for the area, and I thought that would be popular. Anyways, so that's what happened. That's all my feedback. Overall, it was not worth the cost of how much it cost to be there, but it also wasn't terrible. I did a lot better than the times when I did the Quakertown, the Quakertown Farmers Market, which is that inside show. I'll be there in November and December, so I'm hoping that all of my information cards that I passed out this weekend, I'll have return sales, and that I'll do well in November and December. So, I'm going to try again in the spring and next fall if I get accepted as a vendor, and we'll try and do better for the next time, because it wasn't a total wash, but it just wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. My goal was $300, so we did 152, so it was okay. It was a decent day, but it could have been a lot better, and I think I know how to fix it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.